My name is Sandy Van, and I am of Van Law Firm. I am one of the lead lawyers of your case, and we do have co-counsels. Adam Krause of Krause and Kinsman out of St. Louis, and M&Y personal injury lawyers, Nick Movagar out of Los Angeles. So I just wanted to let you know about your March 2021 Zantac update. We are going to be doing this a little bit more often. Maybe every 6 weeks or so, we'll release a video and text it to you or email it to you, and you can watch it or however you want to do it. Okay. I just wanted to share with you where this case is going and just a little bit about Zantac, just because I think it's important for you to know. So let me tell you a little bit about Zantac. It's been around since the 1980s. I believe it was like 1984. There were millions of people who have taken Zantac. I believe that they have written about 15 million prescriptions a year. So the main component of Zantac is ranitidine, and it is unstable and it breaks down to form Ndma. So let me show you what that looks like. So let's share our screen. Hold on. So this is what Ndma looks like. So you've got the nitroso over here, and then the DMA part over here, and this is the big ranitidine molecule, right? So the two ends break off and they kind of form this Ndma. And Ndma is not very good stuff. It's really bad. It was discovered as a byproduct in manufacturing rocket fuel, and it's only used to induce cancer in lab animals. So the only purpose of it, it's banned in the United States, everything, is just to cause cancer in lab rats, basically. Okay. There have been other pills that have had Ndma in them. However, they were contaminated. Something fell into the drug during the manufacturing process, which caused it to be contaminated to, create that Ndma. This one is not the case. This drug is, in itself, it has the Ndma molecule. So it's inherently dangerous. It's not like it's from a contamination. It's just the drug itself creates this Ndma, breaks down and creates this Ndma. So what the FDA has said is that, most people, they do have a little bit of Ndma that they get every day, about 96 nanograms a day. They might have it in their water, their processed foods, their cheese, their beverages, cured meats, whiskey, beer, vegetables, water, cheese, stuff like that. And they said, yeah, so 96 nanograms is okay. You shouldn't consume more than that a day. That's what the FDA said. Well, this is how much Ndma is in Zantac. So let's go look at that. Let me go grab that picture here so you can see it. So let me share my screen here. So remember, we're talking about 96 nanograms. So here's, there's a lot of different types of Zantac. It could be coming in a pill format, a pill form. It could come in a mint or something, a lot of different formats of forms of having this drug. So here we're looking at, the CVS Zantac mint, and this is the highest one that they measured. And it was 3.2 million nanograms of Ndma. So that's a lot more than 96, okay? 3.2 million, 96. That's a lot. So what the FDA said was that basically under biologically relevant conditions, so if we're measuring this using, gas and heat and everything, we found that 150 milligram tablet of Zantac was basically similar to smoking about 500 cigarettes. So one tablet, one dose a day, 150 milligrams, was similar to smoking 500 cigarettes. Okay. So imagine if you were taking 2 of these pills a day, or you had a higher dosage or something, you're smoking a lot. Okay. So how did this happen? How did we find out that this stuff is, Zantac's bad, right? There was a lab, and it was an online pharmacy, and they had their own little lab, independent lab inside their pharmacy. And they're like, we're going to just check every drug out because we're getting stuff from India, we're getting stuff from China, and who knows what's in it. So they decided to go run their own tests, and they found that like some of the Zantac formulas had 3 million nanograms of, NDMA in it. And so they're like, holy crap, we better go tell the FDA about it. And we're going to go file a citizen petition to the FDA telling them to recall this stuff. The FDA first says, hey, you know what? We're going to make you redo this test because who knows, maybe you baked it too high or something. And we're going to have you redo this test because who knows, So they're redoing their test thinking that they've heated it too high. And that's why there was, 3 million nanograms of NDMA in a tablet. Well, in January, there's another study done by another pharmacy, and they're like, oh my gosh, there is a lot of NDMA in this Zantac. And Emory Pharma, they file a citizen petition as well, saying that, hey, the longer that this stuff is sitting out there, so the older the pill is, so let's say you've got a pill that's been sitting on the shelf for a while, the longer it's around and it has more NDMA, even in heat. So you're imagining this pill, it's traveling through storage, right? So it might be on a hot truck. It might be in a hot warehouse. The hotter it gets, the more NDMA it produces. The longer it sits on the shelf, the hotter it gets, more NDMA. So Emory also files a citizen petition to the FDA saying, hey, this is unsafe. So in April of 2020, they pulled Zantac off the shelves. And, they said even under normal conditions, just sitting there, it's creating NDMA. So again, NDMA is a known carcinogen. If you take it for a long time, it can cause cancer. So there's certain cancers that we're looking for. They're mainly the digestive cancers, but there's certain other ones as well. So imagine you're taking this pill and it goes down your esophagus, into your stomach, and into your liver, and then into your kidneys. So, we're looking for those types of cancer. We're looking for breast cancer. It's more likely than not, if you take Zantac, you're going to, you have breast cancer, bladder cancer, colon, rectal, colorectal cancer, esophageal cancer, gastric, kidney, liver, lung, pancreatic cancer, prostate cancer, and stomach cancer are the cancers that we're looking for now. Those are the main ones that we're saying that are statistically significant. We can show that there's a correlation. You take Zantac, you may get these cancers more likely than not, right? Because that's what we're alleging. So right now, all the cases are consolidated and they're going to be in front of Judge Robin Rosenberg in Florida. And our team, our co-counsels, so remember who we have other law firms that are working with us here. So we have M&Y personal injury lawyers and also Krause and Kinsman out of, Kansas City. So they're co-counsel. So Adam Krause in the next 6 to 8 weeks is going to be taking 12 depositions and juicy stuff, right? So he's gonna be taking stuff of Sanofi or Boehringer Ingelheim. And, so he's gonna be taking those in the next 6 to 8 weeks. And they're gonna be basically going through this process called discovery right now. That's where we are in the case. So usually you file a lawsuit and then each party, they give up their documents and stuff like that. They kind of like switch documents and share stuff and their witnesses and stuff like that. But then they also ask questions, right? They may be asking, maybe sending out questions. They may be deposing people. They may be researching things. They may be researching emails or advertisements or something like that. So there's a lot of work to be done in this case. So there's probably about 150 to 200 attorneys that are working on this case. They're basically called the leadership team. So, the judge basically says, hey, you 150, 200 lawyers are going to be on the leadership team. Your law firms are going to be on the leadership team, and you guys are going to do work, and it's going to be shared for the common good. Instead of you bringing your individual case and having to pay for some experts, I know that some of my experts I'm paying $10,000, $30,000 to, $10,000 or $30,000 to. Some cases we have $500,000 in expenses. That's pretty expensive for one case. Why not let's just all these lawyers do all this discovery and they'll make it for the benefit of all the cases, right? All the Zantac cases. There's about 60,000 cases right now filed in Florida. So, and it's just going to get more as more people hear about the Zantac litigation, right? So all these law firms do the work, they split the cost among all the cases and they share the work. So one person may be doing all the e-discovery. This person may be deposing all the experts. This one may be looking at all the advertisements, things like that, right? And all that work and cost is shared among all the multiple claimants rather than one person incurring all those fees, and right now I can tell you that they've already looked over 1 million documents and they're going to be looking over millions of more documents, it's just the beginning of the case. It's going to be a while. So what the documents have shown that is at a minimum, GlaxoSmithKline should have been testing for, NDMA since 2002. They should have somewhat known or something and been testing basically. So that's what the documents have shown. Right now, they're also hiring experts right now. We've hired about 4 epidemiologists. So epidemiologists are basically like Fauci. Fauci's an epidemiologist, So the epidemiologists, they're trying to correlate and figure out how these cancers develop, right? So we want to show them that, NDMA and the Zantac and NDMA breaks down to NDMA and it causes cancer basically. So we're going to get information when we depose people or when we're looking through documents, and we're going to send it and show it to our experts, right? We might have the epidemiologists and then pharmacovigilance experts, or basically drug safety experts that we're going to be, they're going to be looking at the product. They're going to be testing the product and reviewing documents and things like that. And basically the attorneys are also going to be appearing in front of Judge Robin Rosenberg to ask her for more documents, because we're not just suing the big 4 like Sanofi and GlaxoSmithKline and, all those. We're suing some of the generics as well, because as you saw on that sheet earlier, it could have been a Walgreens brand, right? It could have been a CVS brand or something else. I think there's another one called Dr. Reddy's or something, right? So there could have been all these different brands. There's so many. So there's 96 different generics as well. And also the distributors. So, it was sold in Walmart. Walmart made all this money off of Zantac. We're going to be suing Walmart, right? We're going to be suing a bunch of different places too. So we're going to be asking Judge Robin Rosenberg for more documents from the generic companies, the retailers, the distributors, so there's a lot of attorneys working on your case every day. They're going to try and figure out what are the best documents. Like, okay, this one's an okay document, but this one really conveys our story. Because mainly attorneys are trying to create a story, right? That's how we can tell the jury and everyone and the fact finder that hey, this is what's going on. This is why people got cancer. This is why did it occur so long? How come so many years why did they miss everything? So, and all these documents are going to come from Sanofi or GlaxoSmithKline and the big pharmaceutical companies and generic companies that produce this medication. So right now they're just getting all the documents, and some documents are just marked confidential and they can't be shared with the public. And at some point they might fight that, and then they might be marked unconfidential, right? So when they're marked unmarked, then we can share them with you and explain them to you in our every month to 6 week update that we send you. We're hoping that next April or May, we're going to be able to try our first case, right? And by that time, we will have taken over 300 depositions and read millions and millions of documents, okay? We'll have our expert team, picked out. We're going to have some bellwether trials. So what a bellwether trial is, each side kind of picks their cases, their best cases and their worst cases, right? So the defense is going to pick the best cases for them, which are the worst cases for us, right? And we're going to pick our best cases. Like, this person was really hurt, and they're going to pick theirs. So it's kind of like dodgeball, right? So each person picks their teams and their best cases, and whichever cases go forward, they're the bellwether, cases and the bellwether trials. And those trials are going to represent the entire litigation. Okay. So I wanted to let you know that this is basically the largest pharmaceutical mass tort case in the history of law. They wrote 15 million prescriptions a year, more people took this medication than any other medication alleged to ever cause cancer. So, this is a very big case. I know people always wonder, when is my case going to settle? Can we make it settle earlier? There's no way to make it settle earlier. We just have to go through the motions and, go through the discovery. There's no way of speeding it up, do the depositions, so we just need to go through this all together, and, it'll just settle when those cases start going to trial and bad stuff comes out. Maybe they'll settle then, I can't guarantee anything about that, but it's not settling anytime soon. I just wanted to let you know a little bit about your update. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. If we have any questions or need any documents or any information from you, such as like, where you bought your Zantac or which doctors diagnosed your cancer or anything, we'll reach out to you. It's very important that you get us this information because that information is going to be entered into a correlation database. So we enter all this information into that database and it's going to say, oh yeah, it seems like more likely than not, people got breast cancer from this or whatever, lung cancer or whatever, and they didn't even smoke. So we need all that information so that we put it all into that database so that we can see what's the correlation between everyone. And then the other reason is because it also tolls your statute of limitations. You may live in a state where the statute of limitations is 2 years from the time you figured it out or whatever it is. We don't know exactly when the statute of limitations is going to be because could it be when, the citizens petition came and they, pulled the Zantac off off the table or what, we don't know. So we want to get everyone's cases told. So that basically means it stops the statute of limitations, but we need to get your information so that we can stop the statute of limitations, basically toll the statute of limitations so that you have a case, because we don't want to blow the statute of limitations and then you don't have a case, right? We want to make sure that you're compensated. It isn't probably going to be you're not going to be fully compensated because I can't go turn back time and, make it so that you don't have cancer, but at least you can get something from this litigation. So if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us. If we have any questions for you, we'll reach out to you. Thank you. Talk to you later.